Hello friends, I am back from Asia and that means the videos are coming back as well. Couple of things. One, any news things that happened when I'm in Asia, they're gonna be rolling out now because I didn't film very much when I was in Asia because I was between two countries and like doing a ton of stuff every single day. Number two, chat, let me know if we fuck with the hair in the comment section down below or if I look absolutely insane with these Mickey Mouse ears and I'll never do them again. Number three, ignore my face. I have some eye makeup on, but I got 4 skin procedures done in Korea. I'll put videos about it on my alt Instagram and an alt TikTok where I do like lifestyle stuff. I'll put it there. But that's why I look a little crazy right now, okay? Because I'm scabbed and bruised from it. But in today's video, we're going to be covering the Studio Ghibli AI trend that has been breaking the internet and has all of the internet divided on two sides. One of the first things that I saw that kind of kicked this off, and there might have been one before this, but this is just what I saw, was this tweet posted by Grant Slatton on Twitter. And he writes, tremendous alpha right now in sending your way photos of y'all converted to Studio Ghibli anime. I also think like the wording is very interesting, like converted to Studio Ghibli anime. I've never really heard people refer to Studio Ghibli as Studio Ghibli anime. They just typically refer to it as Studio Ghibli or like just the name, like Howl's Moving Castle or something. But it is a side-by-side photo of him, his wife, and their dog, and then I guess he stuck it into AI and made it into a Studio Ghibli inspired piece. So this is coming with the rise of like ChatGPT 4 that I have not used it, right? There apparently are like image generation now added into ChatGPT 4 as well. So this is what's kickstarting a lot of AI conversation and this Ghibli one as well. And then Grant adds, Ghiblification will continue until morale improves. And he's just quote retweeting like a whole bunch of people turning their kids, family members, dogs into the Studio Ghibli art style. There's a lot. He just keeps going. So yeah, here he's confirming that he used the new ChatGPT 4.0 model that released. And then a user by the name of Echo writes, learn to draw bozo. And Grant says, it's crazy that we live in a world where you can enjoy both. And then he went to ChatGPT and inserted a prompt. I guess acrylic on 4-inch square, wife on the Guanacaste. I'm so sorry. I am like illiterate in pronouncing some words on the coastline, and it got the acrylic paint style. And this kickstarted a trend with a ton of people converting their artwork to the AI Studio Ghibli stuff. Studio Ghibli anime style. So then we have this guy who goes by the username TJ underscore Little John on Twitter, or Tej, writing introducing Gib Instagram, but every photo is Studio Ghibli. Today X saw the most photos shared in its history, and that says something. Join the waitlist now with a link. And I guess it's an app that you upload a photo and it will automatically turn it into the Studio Ghibli style. Which for me, I think this is always a very interesting thought because it's like AI and ChatGPT and stuff like that. And with ChatGPT coming out, there was a huge rise in like people making apps and like startups that were just like ChatGPT but reworded a little bit, and that's essentially what this is. It's just repackaged ChatGPT that somebody is trying to be a middleman and profit on by probably offering you a subscription. That's another one we've got. People are making apps now to do this. And a bunch of commenters weren't happy. So X Poppy says, this is sad. Tej says something. Dicky writes, wacky and undoubtedly unoriginal. And Tej says, art is subjective. I would also argue that arguing that AI generation is art is also a subjective argument. And then Oscar says, please don't. The world needs real artists, not this shit. And Tej says, software is art. Again, that is subjective. And then Peter says, quick turnaround, sir. And Tej says, website was less than 10 prompts, lol. And then Tej made this post, writing, just got the cease and desist from Studio Ghibli. AI creators deserve protection, not punishment. Expression is sacred. Imagination is not illegal. If I have to be a martyr to prove that, so be it. I'm assembling a legal team. Firms who believe in this fight, reach out. And it is a Studio Ghibli letterhead, which reads Gib Studio LLC, based in Florida, because yes, Studio Ghibli is based in Florida. And then readers added extra context, writing the letter is fake. And this is the original tweet put out by Tej, where the community note says, this letter is fake. There is no records for a Sakura Hoshino LLP ever existing. The email address is not valid. Furthermore, the phone number is fake as evidence, but it including 555. And this clearly is probably this person with Twitter Blue, likely rage baiting to try to get some attention. It worked, right? And then we have this person who goes by the name of No Wooj on Twitter, who goes by Juwon, writing, this Ghibli Riz on the normies goes crazy. And these are messages allegedly between them and somebody else, where they sent a photo of a girl generated again using the AI Studio Ghibli style. And Juwon says, look what the ChatGPT thing did to your photo. And allegedly, she responds, OMG, what? Stop. That's so cute. OMG, thank you. And people in the comments were throwing in their 2 cents. Ez says, did you fake this with a guy friend? Juwan says, there's no way right now. Cream the Rabbit says, quote, the chat GPT thing, end quote, as if you aren't very familiar with its nasty work. Juwan says, LMFAO, and Swagger says, how much did you make off the rage bait? Again, I do want to point out this person also has Twitter Blue. You know, sometimes there is a trend with rage baiting and Twitter Blue and people trying to make money off rage bait. Or sometimes people don't do it for profit reasons and they're just bored. By the way, again, don't send hate to any of the people that I just showed you. I was just trying to show you the tweets that essentially blew up, went viral, and really kickstarted all of this Studio Ghibli AI stuff on Twitter, and it spiraled into other social media platforms as well. But here are other people's sentiments about this trend. So here we have Twitter user Slim Josa, who goes by Gregor Samson, writing, the whole Studio Ghibli AI trend honestly gives me secondhand embarrassment, knowing how hard, and I'm so sorry, I'm not going to say his name correctly, Hayao Miyazaki has fought to retain the identity of his films, and how many of you are this willing to make a farce out of decades of artistry because you don't actually value it. We're talking about the studio that made Howl's Moving Castle in response to the Iraq War, countless other films about fascism and reckoning with Japanese imperial history, and has intentionally avoided modernizing their animation in an effort to preserve their craftsmanship. And people in the comments were really debating because, again, this whole Studio Ghibli AI thing has really split the internet in two, with people who don't like AI art and people who do. And the people who do like it are heavily supporting generating AI images in the Studio Ghibli art style, and people against AI art are heavily on the other side. So we have GFO Door writing, you're not morally superior to others despite your unshaking belief that it is the case. If you want to prove your moral superiority, you can do so by not shitting on the simple joys of other people who you know nothing about. Gregor says, am I morally superior, or do I simply have bare minimum ethics for believing a non-consenting party's work shouldn't be used to train AI, especially when they've gone on record in opposition to this technology? At a certain point, we do have to be more responsible about this. And then AI and design rights, can you describe the exact harm that's being done by this example? Be specific. Anyone losing money? Anything else, or is this purely emotional? And Gregor says, if Studio Ghibli has not licensed the usage of their intellectual property to train ChatGPT, which they haven't, then this is continually plagiarizing their work without any compensation from OpenAI. Would you like it if I stole your designs and never paid you a royalty? Devil May Cam says, I think we as a people need to accept that some individuals don't have artistic ability, and that's okay. AI is making some of these people think they can create despite AI being a facsimile of artistic talent. My pronunciation sucks, guys. I apologize. Gregor says, it honestly feels like generative AI has become this vessel for people to remedy their creative insecurities, but art doesn't have to be perfect. You can sketch a messy drawing, write a poem with structural mistakes, etc. And it's all the more charming because a human being did it. On a complete side note, I've been learning how to crochet, guys, and you know what? There is a charm in things looking a little fucked up, okay? I followed this tutorial on YouTube to make a Miffy coaster, and I don't know why my Miffy has a bunch of holes in the middle. It just does. Hers did not. So I goofed up a little bit, but you know what? There's charm in things not being perfect. But I do completely agree with Gregory's point here, where it feels like it's really, really, really divided with the creatives on one side and the non-creatives, I don't know what else to say, on the other side, where almost all artists are in opposition of AI, whereas almost all people who are not artists are on the side of AI. And this is at least my 2 cents, but I think it's just the entitlement of people where people feel like they want access and they feel entitled to have things that they potentially should not have, right? Again, we can debate whether you have the right to get art or not, right? I personally think art is a luxury and you are not entitled to artwork just because you want it. But with the introduction of ChatGPT 4.0 and Midjourney and all these other Gen AI stuff out there, it has made accessing artwork, right? And I use artwork very loosely because the way I define art is, created with love and care and by human beings. But it has made it a lot more accessible to people who originally had no access to it. Because with art, it is either you make it yourself or you purchase it from somebody else. And the people who are cheap and don't value art wouldn't want to purchase it from somebody anyways. And because they don't know how to make art, because they never bother to learn, then this is all of a sudden seen as like a really easy access way to get it. And to me, it just feels like a lot of entitlement of like, I need to have this. I want art. So therefore, because I'm too cheap to go commission an artist and because I am too lazy to learn how to draw, I am going to get it this way. Even though it does encroach on moral, ethical boundaries of the people who own the IP of the art style that I'm trying to yoink, I don't care. And to me, that's just what it reads as. I mean, I'm curious about you guys, right? I really have not seen artists in support of Gen AI and AI generated artwork. Ryan Hoffman adds, it's wild how quickly, quote, respect for the craft, end quote, gets dropped when novelty hits the timeline. Miyazaki spent decades protecting the soul of his work, and people are out here parodying it with zero understanding of what made it meaningful in the first place. And Ashley Michelle says, I don't think most of these people even watch Studio Ghibli movies, and it makes it so much worse. And then we have a tweet by AP Pictures 9 or Alberto writing, Zelda Williams, the daughter of the great Robin Williams, sure had a lot to say about the quote Studio Ghibli style end quote AI images that have been trending recently. I think those people should read these posts and really think about what they're doing. Also for me, like regardless of who it came from, I just think this is a very good sentiment. But Zelda writes, people are gleefully sharing Studio Ghibli style AI memes and photos as though the man himself wouldn't absolutely despise the technological piracy and negative effects on our environment. Anyway, go watch Princess Mononoke in theaters tonight and fuck AI. The amount of get used to it, it's fun, stop whining that I see in response to anti-AI sentiments is wild. I can't stop you from using the stupid, water-wasting, shitty facsimile machines in the same way you can't stop me from talking about how deeply empty life will become if we relegate the pursuit of art or knowledge to a machine because some people don't like the effort of learning, whether that's an artistic skill or homework in school. Lazy doesn't just affect the body, it rots the mind. So tell me it's all fun and games, but in that same breath, maybe also remember that science fiction has warned us for decades how easily mankind would slide into lukewarm, lobotomized stasis if given half the chance. Also, making shitty memes and self-portraits while ruining the planet is too dumb even for Wall-E. At least the trash he had to clean up was real. I honestly, personally, agree with the sentiments. To say mankind is a little bit odd, but I do feel like nowadays people have become very lazy, and I think it's because there are a lot of tools out there that will make your life easier, but there are also, because of those tools, people rely a little bit too much on things. And maybe I just have a very like boomer mindset, you know, potentially. And not to be like back in my day, but I feel like previously, right? If it was something that you wanted, it would be like, well, you know, if I can't afford it, I guess I would learn how to do it. You know, like for me, not that I can't afford crochet, right? But crochet is expensive. Buying crochet things are expensive. I have things that I want, you know? So you know what? Easy solution. I learned how to crochet. I can only make granny squares and bunny coasters as of now, right? And I will link the YouTube video that I follow for this down below, by the way. It was like a Miffy one and you could like stitch eyes into it, but the holes in the middle were too big. So I felt like it looked funny if I put eyes into it. Anyways, my solution was, hey, I will learn, you know, like, oh, my sink is broken. Well, a plumber is kind of expensive. Their work is really valuable, but you know, I'm just gonna try to fix it myself. And you know what? A little bit of the white silicone tape and some screwing things back on, you can fix a leaky sink by yourself with a YouTube tutorial. I kind of feel like it's the same thing for art. You know, like if you like pretty things and pretty artwork, pay artists or draw yourself, you know, so you can get all this artwork of your OC that you wanted. But art is difficult to learn. It takes a long time. And a lot of people just don't want to do it. So here we have somebody by the name of Muriel Redclaw with the other side of sentiment writing, why can't people like this just let others have fun? No one's making money from this, it's just memes. Leave people alone. We have enough problems in our lives. And Wally says you're destroying the planet, dumbass, and Muriel says, good. This is a horrible analogy, but I could make the argument, man, why are you mad that I'm shitting in your lawn? Like, why can't you just let me have fun? I know you have to keep scooping my poop every single morning when I have a bowel movement, but like, it's fun for me. Moving on. So we have this article from Dextero, written by James Busby, published April 2nd, writing One Piece anime director in despair over Studio Ghibli AI trend and demands legal action. And it talks about the legendary One Piece anime director Megumi Ishitani and their tweets, where it reads Megumi Ishitani took to X to voice her despair and frustrations over the machine-made Ghibli art flooding the internet. Quote, are there any Japanese who use Ghibli AI? I'm in despair. It's an act that could damage the value of the Ghibli brand, end quote. And Megumi followed up with another tweet writing, quote, I want legal action to be taken. I can't stand seeing Ghibli treated so cheaply, end quote. And here we have another post by Twitter user Hannah V. Barra writing regarding the discussion of AI-generated images and the Studio Ghibli trend. Please read and share if it resonates with you. Where Hannah writes, AI-generated images are not art. Art is created, not generated. This is not just about taking jobs from artists, which is already a huge deal. It is also about devaluing art itself, turning it into mass-produced, empty, and soulless content. It's heartbreaking to see AI stealing from real artists, from Studio Ghibli to smaller creators like us. Personally, we started our art journey by reinterpreting what we love. love music, TV series, anime, and transforming it into our vision inspired by the 90s anime that we grew up with. When we create our illustrations, we try to capture the emotion and love we feel for the subject, aiming to tell a story with each drawing. Ever since AI was created, we have had many people asking if our art is AI generated. Honestly, it's heartbreaking every single time. For us, art is a deeply human experience that we've been dedicating ourselves to for 7 years. Creating from nothing takes dedication, skill, and an emotional investment that, in our opinion, AI simply can't capture. You've probably seen your feed flooded with AI generated images in a Studio Ghibli style. Trends like these reinforce the idea that art can be easily replicated and devalued. The future of artists is more uncertain than ever. We don't know if in a few years we will still be able to make a living from this, since many companies are adopting the mindset of, quote, why should I pay somebody for their well earned work when a machine can do it for free in an instant, end quote. That mindset is the real problem, the way society is starting to perceive art. Art is essential to human life. Many people realized this during the pandemic. What would we do without music, movies, books, and things that bring us comfort? Art is more than just a final product. It is about the process, struggles, and personal growth that comes with it. When you create, you grow, learn, and challenge yourself. AI erases that, replacing it with instant and shallow replication. Real art brings people together, invoking emotions and reminding us of what it means to be human. Relying on AI to make art isn't innovation, it's avoiding the challenge of creating something meaningful. AI tools like these are being pushed as the future, but what does that say about us? Replacing human artistry with shallow, mass produced content takes away humanity from art. Do we really want to be part of a world where art is just another disposable product? What value do we place on creativity? If you've made it this far, it means you care about these issues. Let's raise our voices together and speak up. Don't consume AI generated images. Value and respect creativity. Support real human artists. I completely agree with Hannah's sentiment here. And their page, and the reason I think why it's like a plural is because their page looks to be run by two people, right? Two twin artists, which is so cute. I'm also a twin, but I have a twin brother who does not draw. I've tried teaching him, it's cooked. Aside of orange ads, AI artists demanding respect and protection for their art this week has been nauseating. I don't know if it's because I draw sometimes or because I've mostly followed artists online for many years, as opposed to other types of influencers, but there's something more than just a pretty picture that matters to me. I love the artwork you two create, but even more, I love the people that you are too. Seeing how you grow, evolve, and expand your career is exciting to witness. The insight and commentary you provide along your journey is insightful. The hard work and dedication you showcase in everything you do is inspiring. There is more to art than just the image. The artist is just as important. I don't understand why people can't comprehend that. Cora adds, even if they're just cute drawings, stealing images for training AI is wrong. Now think about somebody training images to your face or your friends' faces instead of an artist's art style. They would do deepfakes of you. Something similar happens to art. And then at least we have some positive spins on this. So here we have Kunal, who goes by the Twitter handle Get to the Chopra writing. Took me about 2 hours to study and draw myself in the Studio Ghibli art style because I wanted to show how easy it is to learn. Is it perfect? Nope, but I did it and I'm proud of that. Pick up a pencil and learn to draw. It is not that hard. It is so much more satisfying and fun. And then in the drawing, they writes, asterisk, I painted this. And Liz writes, and the craziest thing is, I think the Studio Ghibli art style is one of the more easiest art styles to learn. People are just lazy. And Kunal says it literally is though, and legit lazy and stupid. And then here we have somebody by the name of Raka writing, imagine just wasting 2 hours trying to prove you don't need modern tools just to end up with something AI could have done in 8 seconds. And they took that photo and AI generated it. And then Mimi adds, this is significantly worse and also just lame. And Raka says, made it in 2 seconds. If I actually tried and gave it a refined prompt, it'd smoke 90% of what people call art today. You know, this is just fucking insane to me. Sorry, I try to keep it together for my videos, but I'm gonna lose my crap because what do you mean? Your argument is, oh my god, I can make it better and faster with AI, but you were still too lazy to use a refined prompt in your argument. Like, you literally took the laziest and most shortcut way possible to get this shit artwork, in quotes, right? This generated image, and you still were too lazy to use a refined prompt. Like, I don't support AI. Don't go in there using refined prompts or whatever. But like, do you see what I'm trying to say right now? Moving on, there has also been a trend on Twitter with people doing Studio Ghibli fan art in their style without using AI. So we have two really cute ones here. We have Awkward Bootable on, that's their handle on Twitter. I think they go by Kai, writing Studio Ghibli fan art without the AI, and they add their artwork. Their style is really pretty. I love the way they draw eyes. And then here we have one posted by a work of art, writing Studio Ghibli art without the AI, and some of their redraws of famous scenes. I love their use of warm tones in their artwork. It adds this like really kind of like nostalgic, hazy vibe to it. It's so pretty. And like, okay, this is the other thing I want to add, right? Just like look at all of the cute stuff added in the background. Like, these these are minor details, but the chalkboard, there's a little like what looks like a Sailor Moon, the 3DS geometric thing, like bad math, 1 + 1 = 3. Like ChatGPT would never add this. Midjourney would never add that. A human being with their hands drew this in themselves. All of this is like intentional thought put in by a human being, and that's what makes it so touching. Anyways, to wrap this all up, I'm curious about your thoughts on the Studio Ghibli AI trend. For me, it's honestly very saddening because there is so much thought and soul that goes into Studio Ghibli. All of their works, everything was made with intention. The beauty, words cannot capture the feeling and love that was put into Studio Ghibli, and just to see it devalued so much is crazy. From people who just feel entitled to getting a piece of artwork they didn't want to draw themselves or commission themselves. So I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And by the way, I asked you guys in a previous video for like constructive criticism. So one thing that somebody said that I think is very fair, right, is they were like, oh, you do ramble a little bit too much, as in like you will reiterate the same point over and over again. And I kind of felt like I would do that in some of my videos. So I'm trying not to do that. So let me know how I'm looking so far. If you have more constructive criticism, let me know. I'm trying to work on making my videos better for you guys. So hopefully that's good. Anyways, some of you guys were also saying that you like the rambly outros that I have. A lot of my videos recently have actually been recorded on my Twitch stream. So for that, I don't have any outros because I feel awkward recording an outro when I'm live streaming on Twitch, but I will add outro. I'll like record outros after my stream and then have my editor stick it into the video to add the outros for you guys because you guys said you like it. So I hope you guys like the hair and I hope you guys like the video. If you do, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of videos that I'm filming today. I literally got back from Korea yesterday. So yeah, if they're a little bit wonky and if I'm all in the same fit, that's why. I'll see you guys in the other videos. And again, don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have like digital art and stuff for y'all. If you're a Twitch streamer, assets, things like that, free resources on my coffee. And again, I do stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys over there or in another one of my videos, probably in the same outfit. All right, see you guys.